My name is Mr. Rodriguez, and today's video we will be continuing on Armonia basics with now going on to different keys of the circle of fifths. So, now, if you'd like to go over, just to review, we went over posture already, the left hand, the right hand, put all our fingers here. Now let's just, to practice it, let's do C for the left hand, and then with the right hand, we're going to just place it right over the sound hole and dance over all the strings. Now still give it a good, don't just, but nice good hit. And then we also went over a scale. So the pattern, once again, 1, 5, 1, 4, 1, 4, 5, 7, then 1. Okay, so it's 1, 5, 7, 1, 4, 1, 4, 5, 7, 1. Kind of try to remember it as a cheat code. 1, 5, 1, 4, 1, 4, 5, 1. And that is all you got to do. Okay? And if we were playing a note, ba, ba, and that's why it's called a scale. We just play the chords while the melody instruments, trumpets, singers, violins, play it. Alrighty. Now that we went over the key of C and all that, make sure that you got C down. F, all you do is you just move all the ones from C up. There you go. So C, then F is literally just like that. And then F, you just put your finger right here. You can either do all of it or just the last two. And then G, not just G, but G7, because we need the 7 for all mariachi. Okay. Now that we already went over the key of C and all that, and touch basis on that, now what I want to do is go over the circle of fifths. Now, in case you don't know what the circle of fifths is, the circle of fifths is just what we use as a guide for music teachers and just music theory. And in case you'd like to just look at it, this is what we're going over. So the circle of fifths, we just played the key of C that had no sharps, no flats. Now let's go over to, in mariachi, let's go over to the key of G, which has 1 sharp, and that is now F sharp. Now, the thing is, we don't really have to learn too much about like the F sharps and all that type of stuff. Yes, it is very important, but if we learn the fingerings of all the chords, you're already playing the F sharp without even probably realizing it. Like one of these notes that's being pressed down on the string is probably already playing an F sharp. But we as armonia players, we mix 3 notes together or more to make it come out. Because if we just played one note, it would sound like this. Right? There's nothing to it. 2 notes. Then 3 notes. Then all of it. So as you see, it's just notes layered on top of each other to make a cool, like forward motion sounding chord or melody. And that's what we call an arpeggio. For them, they would go bum 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 bum. See, we're even playing the arpeggio too without even realizing it. Okay, so all we have to do is we need to memorize the keys, the chords, and the patterns. Because if we could do that as armonia, we'll be perfectly fine. So, what chords do we need to learn? Once again, the 4, the 1, and then the 5, 7. So just those 3. In any order, 1, 4, 5, 7, 5, 7, 4, 1, 4, 1, 5, 7, whatever. They need to be the big 1, the big 4, and the big 5, 7, okay, of all your keys. So we did the key of C. 1, 4, 5, 7, 1. just with those three chords, I could do a little cumbia that goes back to it. Now, let's go up in the circle of fifths. So, from C to G. Because C to G, that's a fifth. C, D, E, F, G. So, that's the reason why we start on G now. It's not G7 because G is now the 1. So now G is 1 in this key or scale. Now we need to find the 5/7. So now let's just walk up the alphabet. So G, A, B, C, D. D is the 5 chord. So you have G and D. Now, remember, in mariachi, we can do the regular 5, but it's preferred we do 5/7. So the 5/7, the D7, it's not going to be a downwards triangle with all your fingers, but it's going to be a normal triangle. So you're going to put your ring finger on the E string, 2nd fret. Make sure it's right. Then you're going to get your index finger, put it on the B string, 1st fret. Then you're going to get your middle finger, put it on the G string, 2nd fret, and that's D7. And then the 4, now let's find the 4 of G. G, A, B, C. Well, there you go. You already know C, right? Because you played the key of C. Now we're in the key of G. Then D7, the 5. Now C4. Then G. Okay? So now we're in the key of G, and now we take the Roman numeral still of the new key. So now Roman numeral 1 is now G. Then the 5 is D7. From last key, right? And then return to G1. Now, if we follow those 3 chords and now put it into a scale pattern, which is, remember, scale pattern is always 1, 5, 1, 4, 1, 4, 5, and end on 1. So in the key of C, it was C, G7, C, to F, to C, to F, to G7, then to C. Now we're in the key of G. G is now 1. 1, 5, 1, 4, 1, 4, 5, 7, end on 1, G. And that's the scale. Once again, now, instead of naming the Roman numerals, I'm going to name the notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. G to the 5, D7 to the 1, G to the C to the G, then back to C, then D7, then finish on G. Okay, so with that being said, that's all you have to really just do now and go further and further into the circle of fifths. Now, if you have a fingering chart, this will be much faster because now you just pick any key you want. Let's say on the circle of fifths. Now we did C and G. Let's do A. So the A has 3 sharps, but we're already pressing all the keys, so we really don't need that. What we need is the fingering. So we need the 1, A, the 5, 7, which is A, B, C, D, E. So E7, A. Then E7, it's pretty simple. All you do is your middle finger on the A string. Then your index finger on the G string, first fret, and that's E7. And then you need the 4 chord. And then the 4 chord of A is A, B, C, D. So now let's do an A scale. So 1, 5, 7, 1, 4, 1, 4, 5, 1. Okay? And remember the 5 are always 5 7s. So 1, 2 in the key of A. A1, 5, 7, E. A1, 4D. A1, 4D. 5, 7, E. Then A. Okay? And then if you want, just keep circling through the circle of fifths and going over all the patterns. Because no matter what, if you can practice all the scales and get really good with that, you'd be able to do any type of song, whether it's a different style. And you could already play many mariachi songs in the different keys just by practicing the scales and the circle of fifths and going over those patterns. Hope everyone has had a blessed time and got everything that they needed. Thank you, everyone.